What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm back with another video. This time once again, we're going to look at 15 NBA superstars and pick the best game of their careers. And for those games, we'll look at the stats, the overall context, and see if any records are broken in the process. So with that being said, let's get into the video and look at our first player, that being LeBron James. And for LeBron's best game, we looked at the 2016 Finals in Game 6. In this game, Cleveland was down 3-2 and needed a big-time performance from LeBron. And in this game, he definitely came through, hitting 41 points, 11 assists, 8 boards, 4 steals, 3 blocks on 59% shooting. In NBA Finals history, this was the first 41-10 game on 59% shooting or better. Also in Finals history, this game for LeBron has the highest game score for a 40-point game. And as you guys know, this performance sent it to a Game 7, which Cleveland would win. Also in this game, there were some pretty awesome highlights, some LeBron dunks, as well as Steph Curry getting ejected in the fourth quarter.
It's bedlam here in Cleveland. Curry blocked by James. Making a statement on both sides of the floor. Says to the two-time MVP, get it out of here.
Now looking at our next player, we have the Slam Reaper, that being Kevin Durant. And KD's best game in his career was actually in last year's playoffs in Game 5 versus the Bucks. In this game, KD had 49 points, 17 boards, and assists on insane 70, 44, and 81 splits. And in NBA playoff history, this is the second highest game score of all time at 50.4. Also in this game, Kevin Durant had 20 points in the fourth quarter and some big-time shots. And from a historical standard, Kevin Durant broke some big-time records. He became the first player ever to have a 45, 15, and 10 game in the playoffs. He had the second most points in triple-double in the playoffs, and was the first Nets player with 30 points in a single half. Also in the stretch, Kevin Durant basically did everything and carried this Nets team on his back.
Good crush the defense by Milwaukee. Now Durant fires and hits.
Harden dribbled the clock out, but was bailed out by Kevin Durant. Not an easy shot, makes it look easy.
Now next up, we have Damian Lillard. In the best game of Dame's career, out to Game 5 of the first round versus the Denver Nuggets in the 2021 playoffs. In this game, Dame had 55 points, 10 assists, 6 boards on insane 71, 71, and 90 splits. And in playoff history, Dame has the highest game score for a single game at 55.9. Also in this game, he became the first player ever with 55 points and 10 assists in a playoff game. He had a true shooting percentage of 96.8%, by far the best ever for a 50-point game in the playoffs. Also, he's the only player ever in the playoffs to have 50 points and 10 threes in a single game. And of course, as always, when talking about Dame, he's always clutch and comes through in the big-time moments. In the fourth quarter, as well as OT, he had a whopping 28 points and some big-time dagger shots.
Telling him to get out of his way. Lillard on a three. And he hits.
Still down 2 possessions. Lillard trying to shake Rivers. A step back triple.
Comes again. Lillard. Steps back, fires. Bangs it in again.
Now looking ahead, we have Luka Doncic, one of the bright young stars in the NBA. And Luka's best game comes in the 2020 playoffs in Game 4 versus the LA Clippers. In this game, Luka had 43 points, 17 boards, 10 assists on 58, 40, and 60 splits. And at this time, Luka was 21 years old and became the youngest player ever with a 40-point triple-double. Also, he became the third player ever to have 45, 15, and 10 in a single game. And to add some context, in this game, Luka was playing on a bum ankle, Porzingis was out, and Dallas overcame a 21-point deficit to win this game. And how they won this game was by Luka Doncic hitting an absolute dagger as the clock expired.
Smith to inbound. Back to Doncic. Doncic pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Doncic wins the game at the buzzer!
Now next up, we have the best point guard in the NBA, that being Steph Curry. And Steph's best game came versus Portland in the 2021 season. In this game, Steph had 62 points, a career high, 5 boards, 4 assists on insane 58, 67, and 95 splits. An absolutely dominant performance from the greatest shooter of all time. Now looking at the stats in this game, Steph was the second oldest player ever with 60 points. The only player older was Kobe Bryant. Also in the fourth quarter, Steph had 17 total points, outscoring his entire Golden State team. And looking at Portland's backcourt, Dame and CJ combined for 60 points, being too shy of Steph himself. Also in this game, he had the 6th highest true shooting percentage for a 60-point performance and the 7th most threes ever in a 60-point game. And down the stretch, he was absolutely lights out.
Man, Steph
is running into the front court. Draymond finds him another three. Got it! 62! 62!
Now looking at our next player, we have Anthony Davis, the Brow. And AD's best game actually came in New Orleans with the Pelicans in the 2018 playoffs. In this game, AD had 47 points, 10 boards, 3 blocks, on 65, 50, and 88 splits. And looking at AD's career, this was the first time ever he scored 40 points in a playoff game, and by winning this game 4, AD won his first ever playoff series, upsetting Portland. Also, he had the 5th most blocks ever in a 45-10 game in playoff history, and on both ends of the floor, he was as dominant as ever.
Pels do have 10 assists. Backdoor, Rondo and AD.
How about that for communication?
Turns his head to look at Rondo. AD just goes to the front of...
Now looking at a fellow big man, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo, the reigning Finals MVP. And the best game of his career actually comes in the Finals in Game 6 versus the Phoenix Suns. In this game, Giannis had 50 points, 14 boards, 2 assists, 5 blocks, on 64% shooting the field, and 90% shooting from the line. And in NBA Finals history, Giannis had the 3rd most points ever in a Finals game, and he was the only player ever to have a 50-10 game in a Finals series. And by scoring 50, he tied Bob Pettit for the most points ever in a Finals clinching game. And from the line, he was simply automatic in the biggest game of his career.
His free throw shooting has always been a glaring weakness, a roller coaster ride. And he puts the Bucks up by 5 right now. And another.
Now looking at one of Giannis' rivals, we have James Harden. And James Harden's best game comes his MVP season back in 2018 versus the Orlando Magic. In this game, Harden had 60 points, 11 assists, 10 boards, on 63, 36, and 94 splits. And in this game, he had the most points ever for a triple-double performance. Also in NBA history, he's the only player ever to have 60 points and 10 assists in a single game. And down the stretch, he had 18 of his team's last 24 points in the 4th quarter. And when it came down to it, he had some big-time step-back threes to give Houston the victory.
Harden steps back, fires. Go! James Harden is the new scoring one-game champion for the Houston Rockets and Calvin Murphy.
Now next up, we have James Harden's former teammate, that being Russell Westbrook. And Westbrook's best game comes in 2017 versus the Denver Nuggets. In this game, Russ had 50 points, 16 boards, 10 assists, on 53, 42, and 100 splits. And historically, this game is so special for so many reasons. In this game, Westbrook broke Oscar's record for the most triple-doubles in a single season. Also by scoring 50, hitting 9th most points ever in a triple-double game. In the 4th quarter, he outscored the Nuggets 18-14 by himself. And many forget Denver in this game actually had a lot to play for, as their playoff lives were on the line. But Russell Westbrook had other ideas and once again came up clutch in the 4th quarter.
Thunder is out of timeouts. Adams gives it back to Russ. Deep shot. Get it! What a perfect ending!
Now speaking of Denver, next up, we have Nikola Jokic. And Jokic's best game comes in the 2020 playoffs in Game 7 versus the Utah Jazz. In this game, Jokic had 30 points, 14 boards, 4 assists, on 52, 40, and 100 splits. In this game for Jokic, I think, is pretty underrated, as in this game Denver completed their 3-1 comeback over Utah. Also in this game, Jokic became one of 12 players ever to have 30 points and 14 boards in a Game 7. And many forget Jokic had the game-winning hook shot over Gobert.
Jokic against Gobert. Backs him down. Gobert stays on his feet. Tough shot. Made it! Jokic giving Denver a 2-point lead.
Now sticking with the big man theme, next up, we have Joel Embiid. And his best game comes in the 2021 season versus the Bulls. In this game, Joel had 50 points, 17 boards, 5 assists, 4 blocks on 65% shooting. That 50-point number is the highest of Embiid's career. Also in this game, he became the 7th player ever to have a 50, 15, and 5 performance. Also, he became the first center since Shaq to score 50 points, have 15 boards, and shoot over 65%. And in NBA history, he had the second highest box plus minus for a 50 and 10 game out of any player of all time.
45 seconds to go. Embiid, step back jumper, you bet! Joel Embiid tying his career high.
Now looking at our next player, we have Uncle Drew, aka Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie's best game came in the 2016 Finals in Game 5. In this game, Kyrie had 41 points, 6 assists, 3 boards, on insane 71-71-100 splits. And in Finals history for a 40-point game, he had the second highest shooting percentage of all time, only behind his teammate Lebron James. He had the 8th highest box plus minus for a 40-point game in the NBA Finals. In the fourth quarter, as always, Kyrie came through, having 12 total points, nearly outscoring Golden State by himself.
Irving from three. Bang! Kyrie Irving from way downtown.
It's one of the greatest performances offensively.
Now looking at a former teammate of Kyrie Irving, we have Jason Tatum. And Tatum's best game came in 2021 versus the Spurs. In this game, JT had 60 points, 8 boards, 5 assists, on 54, 71, and 88 splits. And by scoring 60, he tied Larry Bird for the most points in franchise history. Also in the fourth quarter was OT, Tatum had a whopping 31 points. And by scoring 60, Tatum became the second youngest player ever to reach that mark. And once again down the stretch, he was simply fantastic, hitting some big time shots from the line as well as the field.
Tatum takes it. Takes it!
Jason Tatum, look how confident he gets to his bag, step back, lets it go, knew right away.
Now next up, we have Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi's best game came in the 2019 playoffs versus the Philadelphia 76ers in a Game 7. In this game, Kawhi had 41 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, on 41, 22, and 88 splits. In this game, Kawhi had the 10th most points ever in a Game 7, and in the fourth quarters, he outscored his own team 15-10. And as you guys know, Kawhi had the first ever Game 7 buzzer beater.
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
Now last but not least, we have the point guard, that being Chris Paul. And his best game ever came in the Western Conference Finals versus the LA Clippers. In this Game 6, Chris Paul had 41 points, 8 assists, 4 boards, on otherworldly shooting splits. And that 41-point number is the most in Chris Paul's career when it comes to playoffs. Also, many forget Chris Paul in this game scored 27 of his team's last 35 points, absolutely taking over in his former team's arena. And by scoring 41 points, Chris Paul became the second oldest player ever to crack the 40-point mark in the playoffs. And of course, in this game, the Suns advanced to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1993. And CP3 himself advanced to his first ever finals in his career.
Here, gets right to his spot, little fade, mid-ranger.
Paul, step back, three-pointer.
So that right there is 15 NBA superstars and the best game of their careers. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.